we're in Anaheim, California with Barry and Liz. So thank you guys so much for sitting down with us to talk
Sure.
about your water feature. So what we were kind of discussing before we sat down was the actual water feature that we built for you guys.
Hmm.
And I wanted to hear from both sides because there's two kind of perspectives of how you wanted to run this water feature, which is a pondless water feature. So you don't have to have it on all the time like you would your pond that you guys also have. So can you explain to me maybe your side of what you wanted to see in the stream and as far as the algae and keeping it on versus maybe what Barry's perspective was?
Okay, so we run the pond obviously 24/7, but we have fish to keep alive, but I just assumed that we would run the stream 24/7. This is kind of like a dream we've wanted for many years, Barry especially, to add a stream to the pond. And then as we did that initially, after it was built, it got a little greener each day, which I loved because to me, I love moss and algae and it just seems more natural. And Barry, not so much. He was like, okay, we need to figure out how to clean the green. And as you had suggested initially, maybe you guys don't run it 24/7. So it seems like already 2 months out, 2.5 months out, we seem like we're getting in a groove where if we're not home or at night, it's off. So it can dry out enough to make Barry happy and not be too green, but still leave a little bit of natural green on some of the rocks.
I mean, you guys obviously have a beautiful garden, and I think you guys have tasks or duties split up. And it seems like Barry, you might be the one in charge of the water features, which you guys have several of.
Yeah,
So what
we
is
do. So my wife is the master gardener. So if it's beautiful or designed, she did it.
and
But
it is
the guy that
beautiful.
cleans it each week is this guy right here. So we've got fountains, we have the pond with fish, and then the streams over the top. And as Lizzie mentioned, it's something that, frankly, I'd always dreamed of. And at this stage of life, we're like, wow, I can't believe we actually have that. I mean, talk about it cool. So this feature not only is gorgeous, but the sound that comes with a stream. And then all the other benefits that come with having a stream from, and we're just at the beginning of spring. Come back in a month or two and you're gonna go, oh my gosh, the stream's gonna look like it was something that was, the house got built around, if you will. So pretty excited about that.
And so, as far as the couple of months that you have had it, what do you think about the maintenance, especially in
Oh my
comparison to the other water features that you have?
Oh my gosh, I mean, the maintenance on this is so minimal. And even the water loss. Now, we've got one way to fill it. I don't have an autofill, but I mean, once a week I check it. Every day I'm out here looking at it because I love the doggone thing, but it's minimal. And if we've got this ability, thanks you, we just turned on the app. Now, if I forget to turn it off, I can leave it off when we're not here. No need, and it'll give this perfect balance of moss versus no moss. And so, kind of a Spanish term, moss, no moss. Couldn't resist. Sorry, threw it out
Perfect.
there.
No, that's perfect. So for whoever's watching, by turning it off, it allows the rocks to basically dry out, killing off that surface algae that some people love, some people don't love it. When you do turn it off and let it dry out and just turn it on again, it looks like a brand new water, almost like a brand new water feature with crystal clear water, which you always have, whether you leave it on or off all the time. But it's the rocks look almost perfectly
That's right.
clean, almost like the day after we had built it, right?
Yeah, and that's the world I live in. Perfectly cleaned is perfect. So
Yeah,
there you go.
I totally understand that. That's why we actually do a lot of pondless waterfalls, is just the low maintenance and being able to have that freedom. I know this is one of many features. How many water features do you guys have?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 fountains. We've got
Could have 5.
5 water features. Then we have the koi pond with a waterfall, and then this the stream here.
And of your water features with this new pondless water feature, in comparison to the other water features, what is the maintenance like, and what is your overall experience with the water feature?
I mean, I'd have to tell you, and I think this is a qualified comment because I'm the guy cleaning them every week. This is 1/10 of the work on everything else. And you're right, we have 5 because there's one at the door also. But we love having a water feature on each side of the house, right? Noise suppression, the beauty of it. It's so relaxing.
Yeah, so that is a question for you too, Liz. Is what do water in general? What do water features do for you guys, and why have you chosen to have them on the property?
Well, our very first one is this lion fountain, small wall fountain, many, many years ago. And it was just kind of, we saw it and we thought how fun that would be. But the sound, and it looks cool, and we're fairly close to a freeway depending on how the wind is. The freeway noise may be louder, so the big fountain here is pretty loud, so blocking out noise. So beauty noise and just kind of I like to create little vistas in the garden, so that's, well, we can talk about that later, about how you design the pond, but one of my vistas through the kitchen window is seeing a fountain, and then the plants next to it and that kind of thing. So we live in a regular suburban house with houses all around us, so we like to try and create a sanctuary within our own yard.
Right.
So, and water is part of that, obviously.
Do you find that like having this added stream helps in creating that ambiance that you're looking for, or what has it done as far as changing the space?
I told you this earlier. I came out, our patio furniture is right behind us, and this is literally where I ate breakfast this morning. I'll start my days out here, and it just sets the piece. It's quiet, and at night with the lights on, which you're not seeing now, it's spectacular, because it feels like we're at a 5-star resort when you see the lights and how it lights up the yard just from the stream. So it's kind of game changer, because it raises everything's beautiful. That makes it that much better. Everything more beautiful.
We still stand out here 2.5 months later and look at each other and be like, I can't believe this is in our yard. Like, we thought our yard is, I mean,
we get a lot of compliments in our yard.
It's a nice yard, but this was like, it's like next level. I don't know. It's just, we can't believe it's in our yard still.
It's awesome to see.
But it fits. It's not like doesn't match our yard. Like, you made it so beautifully fit in that it's not this albatross, like, ooh, that stream's really nice, and the rest of the yard, like, not so much. But
yeah, let me add to that. I think the one takeaway, if someone were to watch your video, wonder if they should do it, I think the thing that you came in with that others didn't is we trusted you. Because as you describe, you're methodical, you're deliberate, and as you came in and said there's a certain bit of artistry that goes on with this, and you're like, okay, I mean, I have none of those skills. I can't tell you how to do those things, but at the end of the day, we trusted you, and this is what came out. So if somebody's going to look at buying a feature from you, they should look at your work and go, okay, look what he did here. I trust that. I trust his judgment on that. Because obviously, you're putting all these stones in place. And the water, the flow of the water and what's around it, all that is at your artistic direction.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
My mind is kind of going blank now. I'm just overwhelmed with all this.
Well, I
good
want to
stuff.
add to the rocks, because not only placing them here, but the rocks you chose. Like, the other thing I love is, even when the stream is off, just being able to really look at the rocks, and especially the ones where the water comes over, the little 3 falls we have. The rocks you chose, like, it just, yeah, I don't know how you stand in a rock yard and look at a rock and be like, I think that would be really good for one of the falls.
Yeah, so really, we go and we do hand pick them, and it's not necessarily I want that rock from the rock yard and it's going to go in this specific place.
Okay.
It's a feeling of rocks. These rocks look good, and then we get them here, and then they kind of find their place organically, if that makes sense. But there's like a really famous or very well-known spectacular water feature builder, and he says if it doesn't look good dry, then it's not going to look good wet. So it's something that we definitely push for. But that was one of the comments. You know, some people think that maybe we take too long, and I do want to improve in that efficiency category, but at the same time, it's we will turn a rock 15 times if we have to in order to get the right angles, and we'll take walks back and forth, put in thousands of steps just to make sure that we're trying to hit all of those angles that to maximize everything that we can.
I think it's fair to say you have the long view, right? You're not just doing this for the quick fix. Hey, it looks great today. You're doing it long term. And an example of that would be, as you talked about the sight line, is that the right terminology?
Sure.
From our kitchen to where this was at. We hadn't even looked at that. And that is one thing. Around our house, we've got all these features, and there's a couple of them you're like, you can't see them unless you're outside. And here you can see this from so many angles, and you took that into account that we didn't. I don't know how many people buy streams that do it all the time, but if you don't, like us,
right,
that's where the pro comes in.
And so when the process of selecting a water feature builder, we did talk to Liz about that a little bit, but what was your perspective on how that went and the decision-making process, and if you could talk about that a little bit, Barry?
Well, I think what happens is you don't buy the feature, you buy the builder. And we bought into your methodology and your process and how you explain things. And I do recall along the way thinking, wow, he is detail-oriented. I remember shifting my weight from one foot to the other going, all right, I think I get this. Like, that's almost enough. And then I went, no, he's really a detail guy. And so that was one of the big takeaways I had. It's like, okay, it's you, buddy. I trust what you're doing, and very happy with it.
And I can't imagine rushing the process. And you told me about how long it would take, and it took basically exactly that amount of time. It's not like you went way I mean, it was that exact amount of days.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't in and
you
out.
don't, you don't rush something like this.
That's our story.
Well, thank you. And then as far as the actual construction process for you, I didn't see you much, Barry. How was that for you from like an outsider's perspective, or just the tidbits that you got to see while we were doing it, or after we were gone every day is probably when you got to see what was going on. How was that for you?
We've been in this house 38 years, and we've made good choices, and people we've worked with made bad choices. And the good choices are people that are detail-oriented, and we're nitpicks. I don't know if that's a nice thing to say on camera, but you're a nitpick in the sense that you had tarps down. We didn't have stuff all over the place. We didn't go in the house and go, wow, there's dirt all over the place because this guy's not clean. And so I love that. Clean is organized to me, and so the fact you have that level of detail was very important to me.
And I think how you left the site every single day, how you guys left it,
Yeah.
so we could still live in it, and like Barry said, not track dirt around, and that also takes time. The end of your day, there was always a significant amount of time spent cleaning up
Putting your house back in order.
so that we could still come out and enjoy our yard. And so that, for what we were grateful really for that too.
I mean, it's a love language of mine. If you came out to the facility I run, you would say, wow, this is spotless. You go to Disneyland, it's spotless. You go to a
Right.
good restaurant, and food or not, when you walk in, if it's clean, you have a good disposition towards it. If you're dirty, you're like, yeah, I don't care how good the food is. And
Right.
so that means a lot to me. And
Right.
it sells.
Yeah.
It sells.
Yeah.
My business works well because people go, dang, if it's clean, it's safe. And they're detail oriented. So those were the exact same languages that speak to me.
Right. So you guys are the perfect client for us because that is what I preach, and my guys can attest to that. We're working on it all the time. That was actually one of the things that I had to cuddle with the guys. Like, look at this garden, it's like perfection.
That's
so
you.
if we're able to meet that level and the expectations that we thought you might have because of how immaculate this place is, I said that will show whether we're doing what we've been setting out to do or not.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys were happy about it really means a tremendous amount to me and my guys for sure.
Yeah, excellent.
Plus your team,
well deserved.
Yeah, your team is just like that because it's never, you could see that it wasn't annoying or a pain for them to clean up at the end of the day or be careful. Like you had plywood down on the lawn and tarps, and it wasn't like they weren't complaining about it in their facial features or their
It's just
body language. It's just like
the
they,
culture you've created
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your team.
Well, they make it easy because they like, I am nitpicky and I probably too much, but they've never rolled their eyes.
No.
They go, okay, they're on board and they do it, and it shows. I think the whole big picture, it makes a difference, and
Yeah.
I think you guys are proof of that. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate you guys, all the time that you've given us and allowing us to come
Sure.
here and film and bring Greg Woodstock here, and how pleasant you guys were with him, and just opening your doors to us whenever I've asked, and doing sit downs like this. So thank you guys so much.
You're very welcome. We
we
feel like we're
would-
returning the favor.
yeah, no,
everything.
for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I would shout from the mountaintops, like just about you guys at all. So we can't talk enough about it.
Well, awesome. Thank you again.
Sure.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.